Welcome to the Aspire Career Video Library. This video looks at the medicine, science and research industry. Careers in this sector are all about pushing forward the frontiers of science and technology and applying scientific knowledge and expertise for social and commercial benefit. Employers in the industry cover a broad range of fields, and you can work in business, research, healthcare or education. Listen on to find out what our volunteers in the sector had to say.
My name is Sanduni Leonage. I'm currently working as a scientist for a company called Thermo Fisher Scientific, which I've been at for almost 2 years. However, I've been working in this sector for nearly 5 years now. I went to Kingston University and I've got a master's and a bachelor's degree in biomedical science.
My name's Anna. I'm a junior doctor working in Bristol for the NHS at the moment. I studied for 5 years my medical degree in Sheffield. I did a 1-year master's and I've been working about a year down here. Some work on the cardiology team doing heart, some work for the gastroenterology team in the hospital, and now I'm on the trauma and orthopaedics team as the junior doctor there.
My name is Rhys Dorr. I'm a paediatric specialty doctor working within the NHS in East London. I've been a doctor for the past 3 years. I've specialised in paediatrics for the past year. I studied medicine at University of Oxford.
Hi everyone, my name's Kriti. I'm a junior doctor working for the NHS in Southampton. I studied medicine at Oxford and I graduated 2 years ago, so I've been working as a doctor for 2 years.
Hi, I'm Sophia and I work in the market research sector, specifically healthcare and working with pharmaceuticals. I've been in the industry for about 9 years now and have since about 2 years ago founded my own company called Boxy. I studied psychology at UCL.
So currently, the people working in my sector are mainly involved in the research and development of products and our diagnostic kits. So our diagnostic kits range from ELISAs to latex kits, which are, for example, used in the detection of staph and MRSA strains. They're also involved in the maintenance and the calibration of equipment, which are used in our labs. We're also involved in stability studies, validation studies, and also investigational work which has to do with customer complaints.
What is market research? So essentially, we understand human behaviour at its very core. So as part of healthcare market research, our core audience would be doctors. We get to speak to doctors on a daily basis, talk about new treatments, how patients are managed, and sometimes we'll even speak to the patients as well. So those people that are affected by the conditions. And essentially, we want to understand the challenges that they face and any areas of unmet need around support or ways that that journey can be improved for future patients.
So what do doctors do? Well, apart from the obvious, which is assessing and treating patients who are ill, doctors work with a bunch of other healthcare professionals, including physiotherapists, occupational therapists, speech and language therapists, nurses, pharmacists, mental health specialists, psychologists, etc., to coordinate and deliver patient care. A large part of working as a doctor is working as a team, making sure that the patient's needs are correctly being identified and met, and ensuring that you're doing that in a way that best makes use of the skills of everybody in your team.
I first thought about doing medicine when I was in sixth form, so quite late in the day really. And I think what drew me to it was that I really wanted to know that I was helping people with what I did every day. I just find that such a deeply satisfying thing to do with my time. I think medical school pushed me in different ways to look at what science is, and I think for me the people side of medicine and the chance to help people, communicate with people, understand humans and how we think and how we work much better, and be involved really attracted me to it as a job.
I would advise a career in medicine because you get to use a huge range of skills every single day. These are communication skills, practical skills, using your scientific knowledge to provide effective healthcare, and all of these skills come together to improve somebody else's life.
So I spoke to a bunch of people who were doctors. I didn't know any doctors personally, so I just cold emailed a bunch of NHS consultants and was lucky enough to be able to do work experience with 2 of them who applied, and I really enjoyed what they did.
What first interested me about this role was the diversity of work I will be doing in. I knew no 2 days would be the same, and I would have a chance to gain a lot of experience in different methods and equipments that I'll be using on my day-to-day work. I also knew I'd have an opportunity to work with different teams and be carrying out different processes.
So originally I went for a job in healthcare PR, and as I was sitting there learning about this job, I watched an interview between a researcher and a doctor talking about multiple sclerosis. And I thought to myself, wow, I want to be in that room having that conversation, understanding what it's like to manage people, to really help and make a difference. And that's where my love affair, if you could call it that, with market research started, because I just wanted to be there and understanding why people do what they do, why doctors do what they do, and what it means for the wider world. I think it's always having the ability to say why. Why do people do what they do? Why have people answered a question in that way? Why does the world look the way it is? And part of that is that innate curiosity. So just being a curious person, being able to say, well, I'd like to understand that in more detail, because that's essentially what we do in market research. We're always looking for that detail, that insight, that nugget of information. And to do that, you have to be curious, but also really persistent with trying to uncover the truth.
I personally think someone who has good time management and organisational skills, who can work effectively and precisely, would be perfect for this role. You should also be able to work well as part of a team and independently, and be able to prioritise your workload.
What's really cool about medicine as well is that you don't need to be any kind of person particularly. Apart from quite hardworking and motivated, you can be really interested in chemistry and science and exactly how things work, and go into a profession that's much more like that. You know, you could be really into cancer medicine and looking at that. You could be a real people person and love talking to people and, you know, look at being a general practitioner like a GP. The point is, it's hugely broad, and when I got to medical school I looked around and realised most of my peers weren't anything like me, and we were all training in the same profession, which is really cool.
Medicine is a very hands-on job, so you need to be ready to get stuck in. The shifts can be long and busy, so you must be hardworking and organised. It's a caring profession, so you need to be caring and be compassionate about providing good care.
A sixth former can develop these skills early on by being able to efficiently manage their time between extracurricular activities and academic work. So for example, things such as group projects can help with communication skills and being able to work well within a team and being able to put across your ideas clearly.
I think what's interesting about market research, specifically the healthcare sector as well, is that it's all around us. Every time you turn on the news, especially now in COVID, you're going to be hearing about the healthcare system, and it's something that you're always going to engage with. It's all around us, and I think having that understanding and that curiosity around the wider healthcare system is a great place to start. I did a psychology degree, and that naturally got me into that realm of understanding what people do and why they do it, but also having that commercial slant to things as well. So maybe not just solely focused on understanding why, but what can we do as a result of finding things. I think that's key for market research, is having that ability to say, okay, I found something interesting, but what can I do and how can I help people with that knowledge?
So the first thing I'd suggest is get in touch with consultants. Just find their emails and email them with an introduction about yourself, with a CV if you've got one, the reason why you want to do work experience with them, and just ask to shadow them for as short or as long a period of time as is convenient to them and you. The other things you can do are look out for volunteering opportunities in healthcare related or clinical areas, such as volunteering in hospices, volunteering to direct people to different wards in a hospital. These things won't necessarily put you in the position of a doctor, but they will show you the context in which patient care happens, which is always helpful.
I think get yourself in a healthcare environment and looking around at it. and it'll give you a clue of whether you even like it as well, which is important. But mostly don't be shy to contact people. Most of us in our jobs love it and love it when people are interested. So don't be shy.
For this role, I needed a minimum of a bachelor's level degree or above in a bioscience field. I also needed extensive laboratory experience. Understanding industry compliance requirements was also essential, as I'll be working in diagnostic kits within the bioscience field.
The qualifications I have, which allow me to work as a doctor, I've just got one qualification, which is a medical degree. So in the UK, you can pursue a medical degree as an undergraduate degree or as a postgraduate degree after you've already done another degree. So there are two routes. People doing graduate entry medicine as a postgraduate degree often have done some sort of science degree as their undergraduate degree. But I also know people who've done something completely unrelated, like history or politics, and they've gone on to do graduate entry medicine. The graduate entry medicine course is 4 years, and an undergraduate medical degree is 5 or 6 years, depending on which university you go to.
So I personally have a degree in psychology that helped me get into market research, but I worked with a range of people at my company. So people that did history and politics, people that did biochemical sciences, people that have done medicine specifically. So actually it's quite varied in terms of the type of degree. Don't feel like you have to have one type of degree to go into market research. It's more the skills that you can gather through your degree, that curiosity, that analytical mind, that always trying to understand the why. It's not just about the degree you have, it's about the things that you learn over the course of an apprenticeship or any other kind of learning experience. That is the ability to drill down to what's important and what does it mean as a result. So always thinking about the so what when you find something out.
What I know now that I wish that I knew when I was in sixth form was that I didn't need to know exactly the role and the sector and the company that I would work for. So for example, I decided to go into higher education. That did provide me with vital knowledge in the bioscience field. However, I wish that I knew that a lot of the experience that I would gain was actually from working in different laboratories for different companies. So I personally think that I wish I knew that a lot of what I know now would actually come from working in different jobs that I've worked for.
The one thing I wish I knew now that I didn't know maybe when I was in sixth form is that there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you want to ask it or you want to understand more, ask the question. I'd rather, certainly in my role and in market research, and I just think in life, if you want to ask a question, do it.
I wish I knew about medicine as a career, and back when I was in sixth form, would probably be that whilst caring for people and providing treatment is indeed the key role of a doctor, it's by no means the only role. There's research, there's teaching, you can do management, you can get involved in medical law, you can get involved with voluntary work. There are so many aspects which can be incorporated into a medical career, and you by no means need to follow a linear career progression, going one step to the next until you're a senior consultant. There are multiple opportunities to take years out to pursue a huge range of interests, both here in the UK, in both allied and non-allied sectors to healthcare, and also all throughout the world. And people manage to do many really exciting, amazing things throughout their medical careers.
I wish I'd known how diverse a job it is and how much my colleagues would be different from me all the time, and I'd learn from them. Whether working with surgeons, working with microbiologists, working with all the different types of people, and also working in such a big team in the hospital with nurses, healthcare practitioners, physiotherapists, speech and language therapists, mental health specialists. The whole team, it's so fun. You just have a lot of friends at work. I love it. The last thing I'd say is that I think everyone should do this job. It's great. Or be in healthcare. It's fantastic. But I think particularly if you are from a background that is complicated or unusual or a bit difficult, if your family aren't in healthcare, if you're from a different country, that I think these are all the more reasons we need you in healthcare.
One common misconception about a career in medicine is that it is solely limited to people who are already very privileged. Now, whilst that may indeed have been the case in the past, medicine is increasingly diversifying and expanding. I personally was the first in my immediate family to go to university. I went to a typical state comprehensive school. I've had many complexities in my childhood, such as homelessness, and I'm from such a low income background that I automatically qualified for a lot of financial help once I got to university. However, along the way, all I found is appreciation and support, and I truly have found my place in medicine. And if you really want it, then I'm sure you will too.
Thank you to all the volunteers who took part in this video. If you want to explore different career options, you can view more sector videos from our career video library on our website, aspire.upreach.org.uk. If you're planning to go to university, you can also use this website to register for career support worth £2,700 during your degree. Check your eligibility and register today.